And here's one more, where this particular individual has received what he passionately and openly wished for Meghan. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and that you had a great week. As you may be able to tell, I'm not in front of the camera today as I'm not in my regular location. Nevertheless, to all of my house guests, grab yourselves a drink and make yourselves comfortable. If you're passing by and you'd like to become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. I'm Chez, this is Chez M0i. Welcome to my place. Cats are really funny creatures. They remind me of the British tabloid media, always on the lookout for something to devour. If he senses a mouse, the cat is always listening intently for any faint noises, primed and ready to pounce. Or their eyes will only pay attention to the hand which may contain a tasty treat. Through gritted teeth, the British tabloid media had to accept that Harry and Meghan's 3-day visit to Nigeria was a resounding success. And because this particular branch of said media have no new material via the Prince and Princess of Wales, they scour social media, poised and ready to devour any misinformation and negative news about the Sussexes. This article is from theindependent.co.uk, published on the 31st of May 2024. Nigeria's First Lady slams US celebs just days after Meghan Markle visit. We don't accept nakedness. She urged Nigerian women and girls not to emulate film stars from America. The First Lady of Nigeria took aim at the nakedness of American film stars just days after Meghan Markle and Prince Harry visited the country. The couple, who visited in their capacity as private citizens, spent 3 days in Nigeria celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, 63, made the comments during a speech celebrating her husband's first year in office and discussed her hopes for the modesty of Nigerian women and girls. She did so while slamming the nakedness of film stars from America, with representatives for the First Lady later confirming that she was not referring to Meghan specifically. The First Lady said Nigerian women and girls do not want to mimic and try to emulate film stars from America with their nakedness. The message here is we have to salvage our children. We see the way they dress, she said. The First Lady continued, they keep forgetting that Nigeria, we are beautiful. You can see what they showcase on the stage. I said, we are fashionable. We see what is going on. We are not having the Met Gala and everyone, the nakedness is just everywhere and the men are well clothed. So we have to do something. Tell them we don't accept nakedness in our culture. That is not beautiful. It is not beautiful at all. And they're all beautiful girls, but they should be confident in who they are. They do not want to mimic and try to emulate film stars from America. They don't know where they come from. And why did Meghan come here looking for Africa? That is something we have to take home with. We know who we are. Don't lose who you are. The First Lady's comment about American film stars comes after Meghan claimed that she is 43% Nigerian and described the nation as my country. She made the revelation on her visit, where she expressed her joy at being able to learn more about her heritage. Speaking at an event on women in leadership in the Nigerian capital of Abuja, Meghan said,
"Never in a million years would I understand it as much as I do now."
Being here, right?
Being here. And what has been echoed so much, really, in the past day by men and women alike is, "Oh, we weren't surprised when we found out when you were a Nigerian." Oh, no. And I say that mostly as a compliment to all of you, because what they define as a Nigerian woman is brave, resilient, courageous, powerful, beautiful. And every single moment that I hear anyone so far talk about what it means to be a Nigerian woman, it is the most flattering thing to be in that company, to be in your company. So yes, it's been really eye-opening and humbling to be able to know more about my heritage and to be able to know this is just the beginning of that discovery.
The First Lady, meanwhile, appeared to wait until after Meghan had left the country to criticise her apparent lack of clothing. Okay, let me just add my 2 cents here. Clumsy. That is the British media for you, ladies and gentlemen. Any morsel of information when it contains the word Meghan, they will jump on. Because for me, the First Lady's speech wouldn't have garnered as much attention if she had left Meghan's name out of it, with all due respect. You know, I don't know the First Lady, I'm not likely to know her. And I just think that certain things were lost in translation. I say that having been married to someone from that part of the world, I can appreciate the nuanced way in which her speech was delivered. Because remember, she was addressing Nigerian women. She was not addressing an international audience. Were she addressing an international audience, her language would have been different, in my humble opinion. With regard to Meghan being 43% Nigerian, I don't understand why everyone's jumped on this, because she revealed this, as I said in a previous video, in 2022 on her Spotify podcast Archetypes, when she was interviewing, I can't remember the name of the lady she was interviewing, but she's Nigerian American. I think she was a comedian or an actress, I can't remember. And that person was really excited when Meghan revealed this. And obviously, Meghan wanted to explore further, and she did say that. Now, my question is, why would she, because people are saying she's lying, she's not Nigerian, blah, blah, blah. Why would she lie about that? Why would she pick such an arbitrary figure if that's not the case? Out of all the countries she could have chosen, because remember, when you see Meghan, she is racially ambiguous, because when I first came across her, I had no clue that her mum was African American. Okay. She could have, if she was going to lie, guys, she could have chosen any country. But it's Nigerian because she is 43% Nigerian, according to the DNA test that she carried out. And again, as I've said in previous videos, when a recent video, when Meghan joined the royal family and her background was discovered, she wasn't white enough for the establishment and the media. Now that she's let it be known of her African heritage, she is now too black for them. She's now too black for them. Make your minds up, schizophrenic British media. Sorry to use that word again, but that I can't find. Guys, let me know another word that I can use, just so that I don't cause offence. But that's the only word I can use right now, because this is how they behave. Another point that I was thinking about is, if the First Lady truly had an issue with the way Meghan was dressed, it may have been a good idea to have a quiet word with the Nigerian designers whose pieces Meghan was wearing. And I will talk more about that later on in this video. My overall observation about what's transpired is that the British tabloid media are simply not interested in checking facts before publishing a story. They don't do that because the manner in which they are remunerated depends 100% on them gathering lies and spreading those lies, not just about Harry and Meghan, but about anyone who they've built up only to tear them down, because that is their MO. They don't like people to succeed in this country. If you succeed, they will come for you. If you have any level of influence, the British tabloid media will come for you. They will go for your jugular. This is how they make their money, and they are not going to stop. Here's what actually happened. This piece is from factcheck.afp.com. AFP Fact Check, published on the 30th of May 2024. Online post: media misleadingly claim Nigeria's First Lady criticised Meghan's choice of clothes. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'll just select what I deem to be relevant in the context of what is being discussed. The visit of Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle to Nigeria in May elicited a flurry of media attention. It also sparked disinformation when a YouTuber suggested that a video showed Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu berating the Duchess of Sussex for dressing indecently during her trip to the West African country. But the claim, which made international headlines, is misleading. Tinubu's comments were aimed at young Nigerian women in her televised speech. The First Lady's office told AFP Fact Check she had not criticised Meghan's dressing. The TV station that filmed the speech, and whose footage was shown in the YouTuber's post, also denied that Tinubu had reprimanded Markle. I don't know why they're referring to her by her surname, but I'm going to refer to her as Meghan going forward in this article. Meghan Markle managed to create an international incident. We warned her about the clothes, reads a post shared on X on May 25th, 2024. It features a 1-minute 14-second clip of Nigerian First Lady Oluremi Tinubu speaking at an event. It also contains 2 photos. One shows Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, wearing a patterned halter-neck gown. In the other, she is seen in a dress with spaghetti straps holding Prince Harry's hand as they walk together. The caption includes disparaging hashtags directed at Meghan. The post has received nearly 3,000 likes and more than 350 reshares. It was shared by Nancy Sidley Sussex, one half of a US online duo called the Sidley Twins, who run a YouTube channel discussing pop culture and royal gossip. Their feed, which boasts more than 50,000 subscribers, features numerous clips critical of Meghan. News outlets around the world, including British media, surprise surprise, picked up Sidley Sussex's ex-post. UK tabloid The Sun ran a story with the headline, Meghan Markle is blasted by Nigeria's First Lady over her nakedness during faux royal visit to the country. Right, let me just pause here because I want to just highlight 2 observations. The Sun. This is where I categorically have to talk about the hypocrisy. When I was growing up in the 70s, page 3 was a regular feature. and those of you who grew up in around the same time as me know that page 3 featured a topless young woman around my daughter's age or younger. My daughter's 21. Every single day, bare-breasted. Page 3. The Sun, this tabloid newspaper was notorious for that. Okay. I don't care how long ago it was, okay, for the Sun to be reporting on this type of story smells potently of hypocrisy. The second observation I'd like to make is when they say faux royal visit. I will reiterate, as I have done in previous videos, it was the media that called this a royal tour. Harry and Meghan did not dub this a royal tour. They had gone representing themselves, not the British royal family. You know, faux royal tour. Harry and Meghan are still royal. Faux meaning false. Was it an apparition then? Was it a hologram that we saw? These two people being welcomed by the Nigerians. You know, if you want to apply faux, false, hologram, apparition, apply that to your future queen. Okay. Harry and Meghan have been seen physically by people. Your future queen hasn't been seen since last December. And that is a separate issue, because there have been stories going backwards and forwards this week. Oh, she's well enough to appear, you know, she's been seen out and about, not one up-to-date picture. And then the following day, oh, she won't be attending any of the events, Trooping the Colour, all of these things. She won't be seen for the rest of the year. Focus on your future queen. She's not making any visits, faux or otherwise. Anyway, as I continue with this article, the claim surfaced after Meghan and Prince Harry visited Nigeria in May to promote his Invictus Games. During the trip, Meghan spoke at an event for women in leadership with Nigerian-born World Trade Organization Director Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Sorry for the mispronunciation to my Nigerian subscribers. The Duchess discussed her Nigerian heritage, referring to the West African nation as my country and being a role model for women. I think being African American, part of it is not really knowing so much about your genealogy background, where you came from specifically, Meghan told the audience on May 10th, 2024. I'm going to pause again here, because I remember when I did a video as the announcement had been made that Harry and Meghan were going on this tour. And in that video, I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was, and I played a clip from the first episode of Michael Palin's documentary when he went to visit Nigeria. He did a tour of the country, and he was at the area where it's called the point of no return, basically where Africans were captured and put on board ships to sail across the Atlantic to America. And there were people who, in the comments under that video, African Americans who said that, you know, although it was, you know, painful to hear, it kind of highlights the fact that a lot of African Americans don't know their roots. They don't know where they come from. And for me, Meghan expressing such an interest and being appreciative of, you know, being able to go back to her roots. And I get that, you know, her being an African American and African Americans commenting on that particular video. Let me continue. It was exciting to discover more and what that having Nigerian heritage really means, Meghan continued to say. A few days later, Nigeria's First Lady held an address celebrating her husband, Bola Tinubu's first year in office and discussed the importance of good morals and cultural values. However, the claim that she criticised Meghan's choice of clothing is misleading. In her speech, seen in the clip shared by Sidley Sussex, Tinubu reprimanded young Nigerian women for dressing indecently, accusing them of mimicking film stars from America who don't know where they came from. She then said that Meghan had visited Nigeria looking for Africa to understand her identity and where she came from. And this is what I alluded to a few seconds ago. The First Lady did not comment on the Duchess's attire. Tinubu's office also said her comments had been taken out of context. She meant Meghan appreciates the people we are and hence her coming here, the office said in an email to AFP Fact Check. At no point did she say anything about Meghan's dressing. Arise News, whose clip was used in the misleading post, also rejected the claim. The footage shows Tinubu commenting that Meghan came looking for her roots, the broadcaster told AFP Fact Check. And then it just goes on to say when they left the royal family, etc. So yeah, another example of misinformation having to be clarified. Just as when they talked about, there was this report saying that the Archwell Foundation was delinquent and the governor of California had to come out and put the record straight. And since we're talking about facts, additional facts are that the couple were in the country to have a meeting about Invictus, of which Nigeria wants to be a future host. The couple visited centres of education and charities they financially and practically support. A further benefit was that Meghan was using clothing to make an understated statement, a byproduct of which was significant generation of revenue. This article is from British Vogue at vogue.co.uk, published on the 17th of May 2024, and the headline reads, "This Meghan Markle approved Nigerian brand is all about empowering women." When Arire Aleshinloye logged onto Instagram to see a photo of Meghan Markle wearing one of her eponymous brand's dresses while attending a Women in Leadership event in Abuja, Nigeria last weekend, she couldn't believe it. It was surreal, the Lagos-based designer tells Vogue via Zoom. It means so much. Everything she stands for is in such alignment with the brand. Aleshinloye got to experience the Meghan effect firsthand. Interest was so high following her appearance in the red dire dress that Orire's website crashed. Now back up and running, the brand is taking pre-orders for the style, which actually featured in its very first collection back in 2021. "We create timeless pieces that you can wear from season to season," the designer explains. Empowering women, both via the brand's clothes and behind the scenes, is at the heart of the brand's DNA, which is why the matchup with Markle made complete sense. "I've always been passionate about women," Aleshinloye says, explaining how Arire ensures all its seamstresses are paid fair wages, as well as partnering with charities such as Pad Up Africa, a non-profit that supports menstrual health across the continent. Environmental sustainability is crucial too. The brand uses locally sourced dead stock materials alongside organic cotton, linen and silk, while all designs are made to order in a bid to avoid waste. "We operate in a very slow way," Aleshinloye continues. "When we started, we didn't and still don't have a lot of resources. It's also a way for us to curb excess." As for what's next, Aleshinloye says she wants to keep doing what we're doing while also expanding further internationally. Arire is currently available via Nordstrom in the US and is looking for a UK stockist. "I want to create beautiful clothes, social impact and support women," she adds. With Meghan's seal of approval, the future is certainly looking bright. And this is just an example of As much as this media wants to crush this woman, what she does, she doesn't make a big song and dance. All Meghan did was put on this dress, and it changed things for the designer. It gave her exposure. It gave her international exposure because this dress was seen everywhere. Okay. As I had said before, with regard to the misleading or misinformation that was given about the First Lady's speech, and I had said, if she really had an issue, which I don't believe she had an issue with Meghan at all, but if she did, rather than address, berate Meghan or, disparage Meghan, maybe have a word with the designers if the clothes offend you so much. I personally think this dress is gorgeous on Meghan. It wouldn't look good on me because I don't have Meghan's body type. Anything Meghan wears, she has the body type for it. She has the versatility to carry things off. I mean, I'm not a fashionista. Maybe there are things which you don't think are suitable for her, but this dress, yeah, amazing. And the fact that it was a Nigerian designer, and with the sustainability element and making sure that the seamstresses get paid fairly. Tell me, someone needs to explain to me, where is the negative in this particular piece? Where is the negative? But I guarantee you someone is going to come up with something, something ridiculous. I don't know. But ethically sourced material, yes, Meghan is aligned with that. Sustainability, all of that. Empowering women. This Pad Up project. I talked in a video about 1 or 2 weeks ago about when Meghan was working for the World Vision organization, when they had an initiative or a scheme to supply all the schoolgirls across the country with menstrual products, because I think it was 63 million didn't have access to facilities and sanitary products, if I remember correctly. So when these people say, oh, Meghan's just going there for attention, if you have intelligence, and I'm going to challenge you, if you actually have intelligence, see the bigger picture. See that there are people in this world who use their wealth and their influence to positively change other people's lives. And you know what it says to me? The fact that people think like this, so have such a low opinion of Meghan, it immediately says to me that you judge her by your own standards, because you have such a low vision of yourself. You have such a low esteem. You judge people by your low standards. That's why it's so easy for you to attack this woman, because anybody who has a high opinion of themselves, you don't have to agree with everything that she does. You don't have to agree with anything that anyone does. But if you have a high opinion of yourself, you will always try and see the good in what someone does. And I will say that about the royal family. I don't have much time for them, but there are some things that they do which are good, which I've seen growing up, and they still work to this day. Some initiatives that they've implemented, and people are benefiting from them. So I'm not going to, slate them and say, oh, they're no good. The royal family, in my opinion, has declined. And, them trying to come after Harry and Meghan, it's not going to serve them well in the end. It just makes them look, in front of the world stage, it makes them look pathetic. It makes them look petty. It makes them look desperate. And for me, that is unbecoming of a royal family. So the fact that Harry and Meghan broke away from the madhouse, all props to them. and I will continue to support what they do, because, you know, as long as the motive is correct, I will always support them. Why not? As I said, those that attack this couple without foundation, without base, they have a low esteem of themselves, and I'm going to demonstrate that in a few minutes. As I wrap up this part of the video with regard to Harry and Meghan's Nigerian visit, I thought I'd go to CNN to just look at how objectively they viewed the visit. And this was at the beginning. This article is published on the 10th of May 2024. And for those of you who were saying, you know, I've seen online, oh, they invited themselves there. Why are they going there? First of all, why is it your business? You know, most people that are asking this question would never consider Nigeria as a place to visit in the first place, but you have a problem because Harry and Meghan went there and you have assumed they invited themselves there. For your information, Prince Harry and Meghan were invited to Nigeria by the Chief of Defence Staff, Christopher Musa, the country's highest ranking military official. The Duke expressed gratitude to their host, commending Nigeria for recognising the power of sport in the rehabilitation process for the injured or wounded. So this is letting you know that they've gone to Nigeria by invitation with regard to Invictus, because Nigeria hope to host the games at some point in the future. And here is a personal viewpoint from Oyeyemi Aderibigbe, 38, a Lagos-based lawyer who told CNN, "I have watched Harry's evolution and quest for personal expression, and I love how bold he is about living authentically." I agree. Meghan was my favourite character in the Suits series. I love how she has spent so much time using her voice for good, openly sharing her experiences. Together, they are using their influence to democratise opportunity and push causes for the advantage of underrepresented groups. I would love to see them at an event with young people in politics in Nigeria, she added. And this flies in the face of all the rubbish you've heard from the UK trash media. So, in the last few weeks, we've witnessed the media having to backtrack when it was proven that the Archwell Foundation was not delinquent, as was gleefully reported. This Nigerian episode is another boomerang which the tabloids were not able to dodge. And here's one more, where this particular individual has received what he passionately and openly wished for Meghan. Eamonn Holmes, a broadcaster of many, many years, born in Northern Ireland. I mean, you can Google him if you want to. He has been married to Ruth Langsford for a number of years. I can't remember. I'm not actually interested. I'm only talking about this because of, you know, my observations with regard to this bitterness that has developed over the years. This article is from huffingtonpost.co.uk, published on the 27th of April 2022. GB News hit with 400 Ofcom complaints after Eamonn Holmes' Harry and Meghan remarks. The presenter sparked controversy after he asked why the royal family wouldn't just throw him over the balcony and her with him. Earlier this month, the former This Morning presenter sparked controversy when he responded to a US TV interview with the Duke of Sussex, in which he said he wanted to make sure the Queen had the right people around her. Discussing Harry on his GB News breakfast show, which he hosts with Isabel Webster, Eamonn said he's bringing a book out where he's slagging off Camilla and maybe William and his father. How on earth? Why wouldn't they just throw him over the balcony and her with him? The comments were met with criticism on social media at the time, with TV watchdog Ofcom confirming to HuffPost UK it has received 402 complaints about the broadcast. Eamonn, who left his long-standing hosting role on ITV's This Morning in December to join GB News, has long been a critic of the royal couple. In 2019, he sparked a row after using the word uppity, which historically was used in the US in the 19th century as an insult to black people who didn't know their place, to describe the Duchess of Sussex on This Morning. While it was later reported that Eamonn had been reprimanded for his comments, a spokesperson for ITV denied this, but did say it had been a point of learning for him. Point of learning. He's not a very good student, is he? However, Eamonn later said he hadn't learned anything from it. Exactly. He added, people can make their own judgment whether they think it was a deliberately racist remark or not. So that's all I have to say about that. People can have their own views on it. Eamonn Holmes is not in the best of health. He has, in most recent years, had double hip replacement surgery, and he is getting on in age. I believe he's 64. His second wife, Ruth Langsford, is also 64. I understand that he is using a wheelchair, he's using crutches, and he has back problems as well. It has been reported that his second wife, Ruth, is not prepared to be a carer. I don't know how true that is. I've just seen that online. But the accusation that has been levelled at Ruth is that she has broken her wedding vows in the context of in sickness and in health. Why is it always, when it comes to this kind of thing, why is it always the woman who's the villain? This is Eamonn Holmes' second marriage. He has 3 boys with his first wife. They split in 96, I believe. They've divorced in 96. And he met Ruth apparently in 97. He was keeping that relationship low profile, low key, because he wanted to respect his wife. It was out of respect for his wife. That's one thing. Ruth has her own she has her own ideas about life, I guess. She's still youthful at 64, the same age. She still has vitality. She is a presenter on QVC as well as Loose Women. Eamonn Holmes, I mean, they used to present This Morning together on a Friday. And when they were fired, Eamonn Holmes was very bitter about it. He's regressed and gone to work for GB News, and in that toxic environment you can only become more toxic. So this week it's emerged that they are getting a divorce. He's been blindsided apparently, furious apparently. I've just seen bits and pieces online. Not really surprised, because they used to kind of have these small rows on air when they were presenting This Morning, little digs at each other, bickering. It got quite embarrassing actually. So I'm surprised they've lasted this long. And if she's not prepared to be his carer, then I guess that was the final nail in the coffin. So him wishing divorce on Harry and Meghan, as well as other things, has boomeranged right back in his face. Because as a reasonable thinking person, why would you wish divorce on a couple who live the other side of the Atlantic, who you don't know, who you're not likely to know, because they're not going to let you into their circle, but because you have misgivings or misapprehensions or assumptions about a person that you've never had a conversation with. You're only going by what your colleagues like Piers Morgan and all your other lookalike friends in mindset and in aesthetics. They've told you certain things. You've made your own deductions and come to this conclusion. And it's funny, you and Ruth live in the same house, or at least you used to. But she's quite savvy when it comes to Meghan, because she knows that's a contentious issue. Whatever her views are, she remains fairly neutral. Even if she thinks the same as you, she's not going to be as vocal as you, because she knows which side her bread is buttered. You were almost cancelled, Eamonn, for wanting Harry and Meghan thrown off Buckingham Palace's balcony. Do you think Ruth is stupid enough to say those types of things on a public platform? Do I feel sorry for Eamonn Holmes? I don't. Divorce is not a nice thing. It's actually a very soul-destroying thing to go through, and I speak from experience. I don't wish divorce on anyone. This man happily wished divorce on Harry and Meghan. I don't feel sorry for him in his predicament, in terms of you get what you give. Talked about this before. Karma, you reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. People don't believe it. A lot of people don't believe it, but I've seen it too many times in people around me, in my own life. Whether it's good or bad, you get what you give. You put out toxic speech, it will come back to you. This is what you wanted for Harry and Meghan. This is what you have. Not just for the first time, but for the second time. You now have to either look for a nurse to look after you, unfortunately, or attract the advances of a younger woman who's prepared to look after you, but you know what you have to give her in return, because that's not going to be a free service. Meanwhile, Ruth is going to get on with her life, because apparently she's not going to remain friends with you. I don't know. And in addition to that, the cost of divorce isn't going to be, it's going to be sky high, I guess. And you have to keep working. And in your current state, how feasible is that? For your sake, I guess you will have put money away, had a few investments here and there. Because the only way you're going to make money now is to continue to talk trash about the Sussexes, which may add to your debilitation, which may add to people not liking you because of your toxic mouth. Yes, guys, the boomerang effect. I can't have sympathy for this person. I'm sorry. I can't. Because it's consistent, negative, toxic talk. So angry about someone you don't even know. What is that? What is that? And toxicity, unfortunately, does manifest physically in the body. It's inevitable, because where does that energy go? It has to have an outlet. And as you become more and more bitter, you'll have fewer people around you. So maybe you should rethink the way you speak, not just about Harry and Meghan, but just about people in general, because your mouth is not nice. Anyway, it looks like another one has bitten the dust. Well guys, this video is actually longer than I anticipated, so I don't think I'm going to add any more, as much as I'd like to. If your thoughts were provoked in any way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet become a house guest, don't forget to hit subscribe and activate all of your notifications. Before I go, I'd like to say a big hello to Maria, one of my subscribers, who actually came and said hello to me at a family gathering this weekend. Totally unexpected. I don't expect to be recognised at all, but she did recognise me. It was a nice surprise. We had a nice chat. It was really nice to meet you, Maria, and hopefully we will meet again soon under more pleasant circumstances. To everyone else, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you shall catch me in the next video.